Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Rory with Roar Sports Media, and today we're going to talk some Week 15 of college football, and we're going to get into our Heisman and our NFL MVP talks. Jordan, it's been a pretty crazy week, dude. Um, so let's just say that I think the NFL MVPs right now it's getting pretty tied up. But let's get into college games that are going to be happening this week in the top 25. You know what,
Mhm.
dude? Let's start out with the Chanticleers, man. I think they shocked the world. Not shocked the world, but they beat BYU, and that was a pretty crazy game at the very end, man.
It really was. I'd actually to me that might have been one of the best games I've seen all season. It was just
Mm-hmm.
exciting. It was nail biting. And I think what the appeal was, I'm pretty sure everybody thought BYU was just going to go in there and just manhandle the
Yeah, they had
Chanticleers.
Zach
Like
Wilson, man.
it wasn't gonna be a competition. Even though like what 3 days of notice, you just feel like BYU is the better, more prepared, the stronger school. And
Mm-hmm.
the Chanticleers, as I now, if you watch the game, like to call them the Mullets versus the Mormons. That's really what they were. They had shirts all out there, like hundreds of people had shirts that had the Mormons versus the Mullets. People loved it. The Mullets came to play, man. The party school came to play, and they partied hard.
Oh
And
yeah,
just going down, Zach Wilson. You know, I'm not going to blame it on him at all. I think he played a really good game. He was definitely under duress the
yes,
entire night, and still at the end of it, he made the throw that he was supposed to make. He just came up
yeah.
short, and that's what it is. It's a game of inches.
So yeah, did you see that that hilarious double team block they did on him? Yeah, dude.
Dude,
So
that
there was a really big thing on Twitter where they're like, man, I mean, people were clearly back and forth on it, but like, dude, if this were a defensive lineman and two guys were like pancake blocking him, no one would have had an issue. The only reason that they're mad because he was a quarterback, I guess. But like, it was just like he threw an interception or turned the ball over, and it was coming back the other way, and then the D lineman just like put his hands on the inside and blocked the half him, and then another guy came and they just fucking pancaked him. Like it was funny. It's just funny to see. Um, and dude, Twitter was a fight like, because he's projected right now to be a top quarterback in the draft. A
yep.
lot of NFL scouts are really singing his praises, and I think that he deserves it. But that Coastal Carolina game against
Oh,
against the BYU Cougars, dude,
uh,
it was pretty crazy, man.
yeah. And
Yep.
I think what people are really mad, they're not mad about the pancake block, the block or the pancake. I think what they're mad is 92, who, by the
Hmm.
way, was all over Zach Wilson all night. I think it was after he was on the ground and he was on top of him. You don't know what was being said, and then he kept slamming him like on the ground. And I think that's when I get it, I understand.
I
It's just
mean,
like,
I
oh,
guess,
whatever.
dude. I,
But
I
it's just
mean,
like,
for me, like, I don't care. Like you. I mean, they do that. They do that crap to cornerbacks, linebackers, D linemen all the time. Linemen constantly do it. Like they're taught to do it. Block them into the ground and keep blocking them until they like lay on top of them. Like I think that the people are just mad because it's a quarterback. For some reason we have this fetish with protecting the quarterback to the rate that we do. We get that you want to be like not a dirty player, but I didn't consider that to be dirty. That's a football play. You know?
I didn't consider it being dirty, but I also liked it. I did. I
Yeah.
liked the ball clearing, the bench clearing brawls. It's fun.
Yeah. I mean,
This game will be
it
another
shows
game.
passion. It
It
shows
does,
passion, man.
and I
Like
think we're going to see next year. I think that's going to be a big highlighted game. BYU versus the Chanticleers, the Mullets versus the
yeah.
Mormons. I
And
think
hopefully
that's going to be a scheduled game.
I'm never gonna say no to a rivalry game, or especially if one that's has merit, like that could be, and the way it ended on that last play, like literally a game of inches, man. Like that came down to the very last second. And
Mhm.
that's the thing you love to see, like in football, in college football, the entire crowd going crazy, two top 25 teams, and it comes all the way down to the last second of the game, man, with what was it? He's a first round rated quarterback and going to, is he going to make the play? Is he not? Who knows? And then the defense comes up and stops him. I think at the
Mhm.
2, or no, it was the 1 at the 1 yard
It was
line,
the one,
man.
and they put him back on the 2, and then some dude flew over, blew up 2 dudes, and it was just like, man.
Man, you love to see it. And against the Troy Trojans, I mean, they have a 5-5 year. They're not anything crazy. I think that the Chanticleers, with the momentum they have right now, I think that they're going to not necessarily wipe the floor, but beat them pretty not easily. They're gonna get it. They're gonna get a win. I'm just gonna go with that.
It was an exciting
And-
game, man. That still, man, it's hard for me to find another game this year that made me more excited, that put me like kind of on the edge of my seat. I was like, is this really happening? And again, it's just really like, what else to do? You didn't expect it. And that was what the surprise was. It was just let's go check these undefeated schools out. It was like, wow, this is a game.
It's a really
This
good game,
is
and
good.
from teams that you wouldn't necessarily expect a super duper good game out of the Chanticleers and the BYU Cougars did. But yeah, I think that the Chanticleers versus Troy is going to be all right. I think it's going to be, I think they're going to win pretty easily, and good on them. I'm happy that they're probably more likely going to have an undefeated season, kind of like UCF had. I think back in like 2017, I think it was, where they said that they were the national champions. Okay, but yeah, dude. I think that then the Chanticleers
that
win
was
that pretty easy.
after two undefeated seasons actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the UCF was two undefeated seasons.
and
They were
then
like 24, 2 bowl wins,
and they beat Auburn, who beat Alabama. So yeah, pretty crazy. So let's get into Georgia, Missouri, dude. And the Bulldogs number 9 right now, 2 losses, 6 wins. Missouri, 5 wins, 3 losses. Although, oh my God, they against Arkansas, they won, but it was kind of like, it was a really good game. But I think that Georgia's gonna, probably not manhandle Mizzou, but I think we're gonna win pretty handily.
It's going to be a sound win. I just think Georgia's defense is just it's good.
Really good.
We've
Really
been
good.
saying the entire time what they're probably the second, third best defense behind a way better Alabama that's been playing the last quite a few weeks. So I just think that Georgia's just going to take it, and I think it's really I think it'll be close in the first half, and then in the second half, Georgia should take a pretty good lead and, like you said, win pretty handily. Nothing like crazy. It could be like 50-7 or anything.
Nah, I don't think it'd be that bad, because Mizzou does have a very, very good ground game, like we saw against Arkansas. But Arkansas is pretty beat up right now in this season. But Mizzou looks pretty decent. I don't think they're gonna get blown out of the water. I think they're gonna score at least a couple of touchdowns. But it's the Mizzou defense that I'm worried about. Like, they allowed Arkansas's quarterback KJ Jefferson to, throw the ball all over the field, and it ended up being a 50-48 game. I don't think that's going to happen with the Georgia Bulldogs. I think that their talent level is at a way, way superior level to Mizzou, whereas Arkansas, Missouri were, kind of on the same sphere, dude, Georgia has how many number 1 classes do they have when it comes to recruiting over the past 5 years? Like an insane amount, dude. Or at least in top 5.
Exactly.
So
Georgia
should.
They're always in the top 5, and they've been number 1. What was it? The last? Yeah, like you said, the last 5 years they've been vying for that number 1 spot, with rolling out of Clemson and Alabama, and it's just been pretty much those 3, really. Like in Ohio State, of course. Really, those 4.
Yeah. But
So I mean,
I don't know how
they're
Georgia
up there.
doesn't
They
even
just
like.
need a quarterback. Georgia needs a quarterback.
That's all they need. But they have Blake Vandergriff coming out of Oklahoma, a 5-star from a couple years ago. He's going to be the quarterback there. He's transferring there. He couldn't play this year because of the transfer, but he's going to have a year, well, actually an extra year there because no one's I guess time was spent this year. Their time on campus. So pretty much like he's going to have another 3 years to be at Georgia, I think.
Which is good. I disagree with that whole wait a year transfer thing. I think it's I don't agree with that. Like I get it if you're mid season, cool. Sit the rest of the season, play next year.
Yeah.
But if you can't, like, nah, man, I disagree with that whole year thing, especially
if you transfer out and you're at the school that you're at like months before the season even starts, you should be able to play. Like it doesn't make sense why you punish someone a year of their life and their football life, which is very important because youth is very useful when it comes to football, health wise and just experience. So I mean, taking away a year from a kid who went to a program that didn't use them or didn't even or had too much depth where they were barely like Joe Burrow, luckily he was he didn't have to wait a year. But I feel like the trend that whole like year wait is, I think we agree is pretty bad rule and should be changed. Treat like a free agent.
Especially, yeah, exactly. And then especially if, and I think it's been a little laxed when it comes to if you're recruited by a certain coach and then that coach gets fired or let go. Why am I staying there? Why don't I go with the same coach if he moves on to another program and he still wants me? I shouldn't have to wait a year. I shouldn't have to chill. I should be allowed to enter the draft, the transfer portal and be allowed to go. I should be allowed to transfer immediately, get my second pick, or or follow that coach. So that especially I disagree with.
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't make sense to trap someone in a system that doesn't fit them, right? Like, if you're a power running back and you're stuck in a finesse system or like a spread system where you're not ever going to be used and you're basically just rotting away in the bench, man. Like you shouldn't punish that kid for like a coach leaving, getting fired, and another one coming in and doesn't fit your game, it just doesn't make sense to keep punishing kids like that. I mean, I get it. You don't just want kids to just go in there, throw a hissy fit, and leave. But ultimately, that's freedom. Allow him to do the things that he's done. Yeah, he signed a contract, but you know what? You're not upholding your side of the contract. You're not letting me show my ability, or you're not doing the things that pretty much what you talked to me about when I came here, right?
And it's we can jump into it. It's all about money. It's like if you're a big name recruit, your coach gets fired, they're not going to let you because they get to sell your merchandise, they get to sell your persons, and they make millions. And so that's guys, that's a whole nother deep dive.
Yeah,
that can go into so many. That is a very big talk. We'll probably get to it in the off season because again, that's still something highly on everybody's mind. That whole issue. Yep.
So now we went on our transfer portal tangent. So let's get into number 10 Miami versus number 17 UNC. Both these teams started off extremely strong, and for the most part have pretty much maintained where they've been. Yeah, they've been. I mean, consistently in the top 25, which is really cool to see from the ACC. It shows that they're a lot more competitive, but Miami is definitely on the come up. D'Eriq King has really shown out for him, and from the Tar Heels side, they were man. They were in the top 8 for like a long portion of the season, man, and they were they haven't played. Good.
Yeah, they played good teams. Tar Heels, I believe they have 2 losses, and I mean Miami's only lost is Clemson. I mean, they're both really good programs. So. I mean, UNC, that was a sound beatdown by Notre Dame. So I think this is going to be a really good one. This is the game to watch. this weekend. I don't think there's any other really big matchups. Let me review. Yeah, that's actually the big one right there in my belief. I mean, unless you think LSU has a chance against Florida.
No, that's a hard no, dude. LSU has fell off super hard,
no.
bro. Yeah. So, dude, Miami, dude.
Disappointing.
Yeah, Miami, dude. I think they're definitely on the come up, and so is UNC. And you like to see that coming from the ACC, like I was just saying, dude, because I'm more competitive. I love seeing like more competitive football where the SEC is not just dominant, like it's just good for like the entire culture of football. Whenever a lot of other conferences are competitive, it adds more value to the playoff system from my perspective. And I really hope that they can.
It gets you into that question: should we add more teams? Should undefeated teams? Should there be 6 spots? Should there be 8 spots instead of 4?
I think there should be
it really
8,
does
man.
get in that question.
I mean, dude, we have how in the NFL? What's our playoff system? It's like I think
what is it?
6? No, what is it? 14 teams? Something like that.
14 teams, yeah. So let's see.
So I mean, the NFL, man, that we have like around 6 to 7 teams. I don't know how they're doing it this year in the playoffs from one conference, from the AFC and NFC. Why can't we do the exact same thing with a CFB with 150 teams? It doesn't like more variety doesn't dilute the product, dude. It just gives you more football because you don't know. You could have a number 8 knock off a number 1, Clemson or Alabama.
Yeah. I mean, Alabama could go against the Chanticleers, and the Chanticleers could pull up an upset. We don't know.
You don't know.
Like
you don't know. Any given Sunday, dude.
Any given Sunday, and you know what? I've always went off that position. Why not try it for a year? Why would you not have given the undefeated UCF a shot to go take on Bama or Clemson?
They should have.
And if they get trashed, they get trashed. Okay, then we know. Keep it 4. Keep it a 4-man.
Well, you don't even have to, man, because so it makes teams vibe even harder to get to that number 8, man. It makes teams want to be better because if you know that it's the same 4 teams every year, and then those same 4 teams are just going to get all the recruits. All the recruits are going to go to those 4 teams, and then that's what you're ever going to get. When you add you add more diversity, when you add more options, man, it makes more programs look better, and then that makes the top 12 makes the top 16 more viable because oh man, well they were top 12, man. They're not quite there, and there's their rosters up, so you have better prospects go to the teams after that. So I mean, of course it happens anyway, but it's just I feel like it would be more competitive from a I guess a football aspect, like the entirety, health of the game. I guess, from my perspective, it'd be better to have more playoff teams.
Yeah, I mean, look at this right now, and if you look at this right now, you've got Bama, Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State. That's your 4. That's been your other than Notre Dame, that's pretty much been your 4. Remove Notre Dame, put in Oklahoma. That's been your 4 for the last 2-3 years, right there. So,
or Auburn or Georgia.
Okay, cool, awesome, woo, yay,
yeah, dude.
But then you add Florida, you add Iowa State, you add Cincy,
and that you bring in more eyeballs, dude. You bring in more, different people who are invested in the championship, dude. Because when you just have it literally all in the Southeast Conference for how many years? 20 years now, dude? We've had an SEC, and I mean, I'm not complaining, dude. I'm in the SEC, but also for the rest of the country, they're just kind of blasé about it, dude. Well, if we're never gonna win, why should we even really care all that much? We'll support them throughout the season, cool. But we know that there's not a shot in hell that we're ever gonna be in that top 4, especially if all the best recruits keep going to those top 4 teams.
But the way it needs to work, and the only way it can work, is if one of those teams, if Iowa State went in there and beat Clemson in the first round,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be sold on it. You're going to commit.
Yep.
But if it's just like I said just a little bit ago, but if Iowa State rolls in there, as great as the years they're having, and they just get just dominated by Clemson, by Alabama, it's just like, well, this is what we expected.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
why are we watching?
But they were there though, man. Like they got to the pinnacle. So I mean, for them to make it back, I mean, it gets better recruits to make it to to go to Iowa State, because like Iowa State's doing it with way lesser recruits. So like, oh man, well they're that type of program that can get there with that amount of talent. So what would happen if you put a couple more 5 stars, a couple more 4 stars on that team? Are they more competitive? I would hope so.
Exactly. It's just
kind of like
sky's the limit. Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
If you add 8 teams,
you can never do worse by adding a little bit more diversity, man.
Exactly.
Okay, so we went on that little AP college playoff thing. So let's get into.
Bear with us, guys. That was 2 tangents. We may have one more in us. So
we got a couple more tangents. So we talk about everything. Let's get.
We haven't got the Pat Mahomes and the MVP,
bro. We're about to talk about Pat Mahomes and MVP. Wait for that. So yeah, BYU, like we were saying, they're playing San Diego State, number 18. We already talked about them a whole lot. So I think BYU beats the living dog crap out of San Diego State. I think you feel the same, Jordan.
Yeah, I feel the same. I mean, San Diego State, you got to wait for Deion Sanders, I believe, right? Yeah, Deion Sanders and his QB son. Or is he going somewhere else? Did I get that mixed up?
No, Jackson. They're going to Mississippi,
State.
dude.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yes.
I wish that's a bigger school.
Yeah, they're going on there, and you know what? They've had a lot of buzz too. Going to Jackson State, Deion's really using his celebrity to recruit. But yeah, dude. I mean, probably the last big one we can talk about is Alabama versus Arkansas, which not because of Arkansas, but Alabama's number 1, and they're tearing everyone's assholes out, man.
You think it could be a trap game? Do you think Alabama could go? No, not even close.
Zero chances of a trap game, dude. I hope my Razorbacks play well. It's just at this point, dude, they're just gonna out recruit them. And I mean, I hope it's close. I really do. But do I see it? Nah, dude. Arkansas lost to Mizzou, who's not like a top tier caliber organization. Alabama is at the pinnacle. Like, I would expect them to just go into Arkansas and treat this like any other game and, put about 30 on them in the first quarter. Yeah.
Matt Jones sits down,
saying, man.
kisses his Heisman.
Thank you for those stats. Thank you.
Thank
you, little white. Thank you.
Probably not going to be a good quarterback in the NFL because no Alabama quarterback is good in the NFL.
Dude, Tua is not looking fantastic, is he? For the Dolphins, he's looking decent, but he's not like.
He's okay right now. He's having okay. What you expect most rookie quarterbacks would have.
Yeah, I expect Devontae
if Tua ends up being good, he'll be the first to meet. Won't he be the first quality quarterback Saban puts out?
Yeah, I mean there are 2 Alabama quarterbacks starting this weekend.
Who's the other one?
Jalen Hurts, dude. For Philly.
Oh, okay. All right, let's be real. Oklahoma quarterback. All right.
No, man. Jalen Hurts was a quarterback for Alabama for 3 years.
In Oklahoma. All right. And he was also the quarterback for the Chanticleers. I'm kidding. Don't quote me on that. He transferred everywhere.
Fake news. Fact check. Didn't happen.
Fake
Fact
news.
check. Fact check.
And fun fact, he didn't have to wait a
misinformation.
year to transfer, by the way. So more
Yeah.
you know about that. He doesn't have to wait, but somebody else might.
Well, I think the rules are just different, dude. I don't know why. I mean, we can jump into a little bit later on, but I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, Arkansas. I hope they put up a decent fight against against Alabama. I think that would be good for them recruiting. I really don't think that Alabama's just going to go in there and steamroll them, like just tear, like 60-0. I think that the Razorbacks will put up a fight, but I mean, about as much as anyone else against Alabama,
Exactly.
You know.
I agree, man. You just you just got to show that you can put up a fight right now, because that's what you're trying to do as Arkansas. You're trying to really start to get there, get competitive, and you need to hopefully bring the eyes of a 4-star who's like, and I'm not going to make it to Alabama. I'm not going to make it to Clemson. Ohio State's out of my sits, but maybe I could be something in Arkansas. You get that one 4-star guy.
You know what? The Razorbacks, man, they're 3-6 right now, but honestly, a few bad calls and a few plays that could have been made. They could be a 5-4 team, a 6-3 team. It's just, they're a very, very young unit, and dealing with COVID, with a new coach and a new system. And you're dealing with not a whole lot of great recruiting over the past 4 years. I mean, they've got something to look forward to. It's just, I don't think this is the game that they're just going to go out there and shock the world. Alabama's going to go in there and beat Alabama, and we can all expect what's probably going to happen. They're going to go to who do they got next week? They got Florida next week, and that's the game, dude. I can't believe that so Alabama's going to play Florida and then play them again in the SEC championship. That's going to be insane.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, that's interesting. This is a big game for Florida.
Oh yeah.
Can we just fast forward and get to that game? Like, I'd rather get to that.
I think it's gonna be pretty neat. Like Florida. Okay, so this is what Alabama can do. Cool. Let's learn from this and then take it to next week. Because I think Kyle Trask is, I don't know, man. I think he's a better quarterback than Mac Jones. But I think that's the talent on Alabama's side. Well, I don't know, man. Florida, Alabama's gonna be a good game. That's gonna be a very good game.
I mean, you got a lot of, Pitts, Trask.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts, Trask,
Florida's defense is good.
Toney. Man, the defense is good too. I mean, Florida's gonna.
Mac Jones. I can't wait. I cannot wait for that game. That's what we've all been waiting for all year. Is that game right there?
Yeah, yeah. So Alabama, Florida next week 16. That's gonna be pretty crazy. So I think.
So here's the question. Right here. I know we're going to next week, but let's role play this. So Dabo Swinney literally came on. He didn't necessarily say it, but he basically said Ohio State shouldn't be in the top 4. They haven't played enough games.
I was going to get into that.
Cool.
Yeah, we can get to that. We can get into that right now because I think they were done mostly with the top 25. We can talk USC.
Guys, that's it.
Yeah, no, we got USC, UCLA. I don't really care about that too much.
It's just they're not good programs right now. USC's 15, but it's an easy
USC. They're there because of the name, not because of the how good a football team they are. I think. Yeah, and then they're decent.
Yep. They'll still put out quality players. They're that school that they've USC is every 3 years they're going to put out a good football team. Not good enough to get into the top 4.
Let's just say this: if Missouri and USC played right now, I think Missouri would beat USC.
It'd be a close
25
game.
and 15.
Missouri would win.
I think Missouri would win. I think they're more battle tested, man. I think that Missouri would win. How many games has USC played? 4. They played 4 against the Pac-12, dude. I'm not impressed. Sorry.
And the
Like,
Pac-12 is very, very weak this year. It's not a good Pac-12 this year.
and Missouri's playing against the SEC, and they have 5 wins. Sorry. Like, I'm just gonna go with Missouri. But yeah, dude. So let's get into that. That's a pretty big discussion to talk about. Dabo Sweeney said that was Ohio State and who?
I think it was really just Ohio State.
I mean, I don't think they should be. They've only played like 4 games, dude.
He basically said, even if Clemson has 2 losses, they should be over Ohio State.
Yep.
And I was like, that's fair.
They've earned it. Sorry. They've earned it.
You really needed to play against Michigan this weekend, and you canceled it.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
I get
COVID,
it.
But
We all want to be safe. But yeah, just you had to play. You at least had to postpone it.
Mm-hmm.
And
put it off a week.
But me personally, let's just be honest. Sorry, Michigan fans, but y'all are running scared from Ohio State. This is just plain and simple. Y'all know y'all aren't going to win that. It is going to probably be the worst loss y'all have had since Jim Harbaugh took over.
Yep.
So it really should be. Man, I would look at it as Clemson, Notre Dame. Sorry, my fault. Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame. I'd go Florida. If Florida can put 1 win on Alabama, why not put them in there?
I don't think they need to beat Alabama, dude. They've slaughtered everyone else they've come across. I mean, yeah, I would love it if they beat Alabama, but I don't think they should have to. And what Dabo said was Texas A&M or Florida should be in the playoff over Ohio State. So, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, Ohio State hasn't. They've played 4 games, man, or something to that effect. Whereas these other teams are out there slaughtering themselves every week. I mean, they kind of deserve it. They've put in the time. They've put in the effort. They've went on the field and shown it. It's just kind of like yeah, I think they should.
The 10-win Chanticleers. Just the 10-win Chanticleers. They should just throw them in there, man.
Let
the bullets fly, bro.
They all deserve to be in there over Ohio State. I'm sorry. Like, yes, we get it. You're a really good program. Cool. You didn't play enough games. Sorry. Like, you didn't meet the requirement. You didn't meet the standard.
And it's off of and to me, it's off of Justin Fields alone. Yep. You need to put Justin Fields in there. It's off of one player, y'all. Because he's a Heisman hopeful, because he's probably the second player off the board.
Yeah.
He's you're going to put him in there. You don't think the NFL is saying, "Hey, you need Ohio State in there?" Calling the NCAA? Come on. You know that happens. I know I'm getting a little conspiracy, but the NFL will call in there and be like, "No, we need to see. We want to see if we can sell this guy. Does he crack in the top 4? Or is he a monster? Did he grow from last year?"
Yeah. I mean, I could see that, but I don't really think that a lot of teams or Roger Goodell's going like, we need to see him.
Well, the Jets are going to take Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, y'all. This just end. They're just going to do a 3. This just in. They're going to sell the hot take. They're going to have a QB battle between Sam Darnold, Trevor Lawrence, and Justin Fields. They're taking 3.
Just a 3 QB set where they just keep tossing it back and forth to each other. That would be pretty amazing. They can all run.
Sam Darnold. They can all run.
They can all run, dude. They all run pretty well. I mean, we saw Sam Darnold hit that dead leg for that 47-yard scamper, man.
Oh yeah! Ooh. Oh yeah!
Yeah, I mean, the Jets running a 3 quarterback set. You love to see it. No, yeah, but I agree with Dabo. I think that Texas A&M or Florida, depending on what happens in this last week, should get in there over Ohio State. At this point, I don't want to see them there because they don't deserve it. They didn't meet the standard. They didn't play enough games. I'm sorry. Other teams played longer and harder and have dealt with way more than you have. I'm sorry.
Yep.
At this point. But yeah, so getting off that, dude, let's get into who do we think is going to be our Heisman hopefuls. And we can do a top 3 if you'd like.
We definitely can do a top 3. I mean, I think it's pretty plain and simple. I think you've got, and you know what? As much as a lot of people put Justin Fields in there, I'm going to take him out.
Really?
I got to go Trask.
I wouldn't take him out of
Yeah, I got to take Justin Fields out.
I'm not going to do that.
I mean, I get it, but again, it's like who I mean, you've got the Notre Dame quarterback who's played all season. You've got Brooks. Yeah, Ian Brooks. Yeah. You got Brooks.
Book.
You got Ian Book. My apologies. I was close. I was very close. You got Book. You've got Lawrence. You've got Trask. You've got Jones, and they've all done more. I think yes, he should be in there, but he's not in my top 3. He just isn't.
I think you're right. Top 5, dude. So for me, number 3. That's how I would do it. What do your number 3 next? So for me, number 3 would be Trevor Lawrence. Just because he did have COVID, he was out 2 games, but also he's led his team very, very well. Teams haven't even been close when he was in there, and it shows you what a difference he makes for Clemson as that that junior guy with experience. And he's done nothing but win since he's been in college football. I think that not having him in your top 3 in a Heisman hopeful is absurd at this point. Mm-hmm. So who's yours?
Mine would actually be I would go with Trask. Trask. I would go with the Florida QB. I just think he's played really well. He's played a lot of quality teams. Really, what's going to speak? It's going to be how he performs with Alabama on whether or not he actually takes the Heisman home. I think that's his one big dilemma. Can he beat Alabama? If he beats Alabama, I think you look at him as the Heisman winner. One game out. So I definitely go with Trask.
I agree. So my number 2. I agree. Trask at number 3 is. Okay, it's cool. For me, number 2 is Mac Jones, Alabama. I think that he's done really well. He's played really well, extremely well. But also, I think that Alabama is just incredibly full of talent. Dude, everyone's a 5-star. They have Najee Harris. They have Devontae Smith. They had Jalen Waddle. I know they lost him, but still pretty good. And then every wide receiver after that is a 4 or 5-star. Like Mac Jones coming into that system with that offensive line, dude, literally on that offensive line is probably about 3 first-rounders. So, he has time to throw the ball. Like, he's not been rushed all that much this season. And throwing from a clean pocket is, if you're not doing that on Alabama to those receivers behind that offensive line with that running back to support you, it says more about you than the team. So, Mac Jones showing out, very good, and, worthy of being my number 2 Heisman guy. What about you?
I would actually go Trevor Lawrence in this one. Okay. As you mentioned, I got him at number 2. He did miss games, but as you did state, you just see the difference. You just see what type of leader he is, where he should be, how he elevates Clemson, and this plays a lot into my number 1. And I'll get to my number 1 here soon. But Trevor Lawrence, no question. If he wins Heisman, I'm not upset. I'm not. He deserves it. Actually, everybody we just mentioned deserves it. They really do. They're good.
Yeah, they all played extremely well.
They all played extremely well. And it just shows you why Trevor Lawrence is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah, he's
hopefully to the
good.
Dallas Cowboys. But a man can dream. It's not going to happen, but a man can dream.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, dude, honestly, you guys could take a really good quarterback. I mean, at 4, I mean, I
Mhm.
it depends if you want to. I would trade out of the pick, but you could.
Of course,
For
I would.
me, yeah, for me, number 1 is Kyle Trask out of Florida. Just because, dude, his numbers are
Kyle Trask.
extremely trash. Now, Trask, put some respect on that man's name, man. No, so Kyle Trask, dude, coming out of Florida, man, he's had, he didn't even start a game in high school. He's had a very Joe Burrow-esque football career, man. And him going to Florida and doing the things he does, and if you see the numbers of what he's doing, man, they're almost identical to Joe Burrow from last year. Joe Burrow won the Heisman last year.
Mhm.
I mean, he also won the national championship and everything that comes with that, dude. But Kyle Trask coming in, practically a nobody, no one really knew who this guy was, and putting up the numbers he has, I for me, he's my Heisman at this point. He's leading me. What about you, dude?
Mhm. I know we hate them. I know we don't think they deserve to be there. But for some reason, everybody loves Notre Dame. And for me,
Oh,
I have got to put Ian Book, who I just said
whoa,
Brooks. You think I should
whoa.
know my husband. I think as the surprise words, and this is why I say it all depends on my second guy. If Notre Dame beats Clemson, Ian Book's the Heisman.
Hey, Bloom. Yeah, man.
Ian Book's the Heisman. How can you argue with that? He's
I
just
think
shut
so
us all
too.
down.
It's
It
just
just
with for me, Kyle Trask and what he's doing, and all the numbers, the crazy amount of story behind it. I mean, did like I said, the dude didn't even start a game in high school as a quarterback,
yeah,
and then he goes
he
to
played
out.
golf.
Somehow he gets to Florida and does and has the year he has in. I mean, I think that I would put it as my Heisman, and it's not just because of the story; it's because his numbers are amazing, bro. Like almost identical to Joe Burrow's. Um, completion percentage, touchdowns, passing yards, all crazy. And he doesn't have, I mean, of course, Florida has great talent. We all know that. But, that's why I put him above Mac Jones, because I think Mac Jones has a bit more help than, Florida.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I didn't even put Mac Jones in my top 3, because as you've seen for so many years, it's I don't want to call him a systems QB because I just don't know enough about Mac Jones. But the fact is that you saw it with Tua and Hurts. Oh, Hurts, you're having a bad game in the final game of the season? Tua, go in. Okay, we won a championship. Oh, no, Tua, you're hurt.
What about the national championship they won with man, who was that quarterback before Tua got there, dude? They won the national championship with
Aaron. Didn't he play for? He backed up Andy Dalton.
No. That was not that guy. This guy didn't make it into the NFL. Man, I can't. I'm blanking on his name. Hey, sure, Doubloon, dude. Good to have you back, bro. Yeah, we're fixing to talk. We're talking about Heisman hopefuls right now, and then we're talking MVP here in a second. NFL MVP. But yeah, dude, Alabama's always they've had great teams that carried their quarterbacks for the most part. Which I'm not saying that Alabama necessarily carried. They carried Mac this year. I think that it was copacetic. They carried each other. They both played extremely well. The team helped them out, and they.
Yeah.
I just think I don't. He's not my Heisman guy. Trask is, like I was saying. Trask is he's my Heisman for this year. Yeah, dude. But
I mean, I agree.
That,
I don't think you can go wrong with really any of them, man. I mean, it's just such quality QB play. And I think the NFL has a very bright future when it comes to QBs. I don't think we're in some dark era where we're running out of Drew Breeses and Tom Brady's. I look at these 3 that are about to come into the NFL here. And even more. So I definitely think either one's fine. I just really think it all depends on, does Ian Book beat Clemson with Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah. So that would be pretty crazy. Man, where's it at, dude? I wish I knew this guy's name. He says Murray was the guy. But dude, I think that pretty much covers our Heisman hopefuls. I got Trask, you got Ian Book. So without further ado, let's get to our NFL MVP looks, dude. Who do you have as your top 3 MVP candidates right now in the NFL?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. Actually, my 3 are
let's go one by one.
Let's do one by one. So, number 1 right now, it's got to be Patrick Mahomes. Just has
Pat Mahomes. I think it has to too, man. Honestly, like let's get into the stats a little bit, bro. Like the man has thrown on 463 attempts and 316 completions, 31 TDs and 2 interceptions. That's efficiency. That's insane efficiency, dude. Like only 2 turnovers this year. The next closest one on interceptions is Deshaun Watson with 24 and 6. So kind of speaks up, right?
Oh,
dude, Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool. Well, then you're gonna like my number 3 pick.
Yeah, I think Claypool has a chance at winning Rookie of the Year. I think he's had a pretty good season. Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, I gotta go.
I don't know about that. Yeah, babe. I don't know about that.
Aaron Rodgers? I have Aaron Rodgers as number 2. Yep, I do. He is the fastest quarterback to get to 400 touchdowns, 36. I'm just going to read it off the comment chats because it's right. 36 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. The dude is playing like a monster. He's got a great offense. He's playing as a man on a mission. I think he's tired of all the trash talking. You only got 1 Super Bowl. You're not the best quarterback. I think he thinks he's the best quarterback, and I think he knows he's the best quarterback in the NFL, and he's trying to go out and prove it with a championship and an MVP. So I do see Aaron Rodgers as number 2, a very, very close pick between Patrick Mahomes and him.
I don't necessarily. I mean, I don't know, man. I think Aaron's my number 3. I think that he's definitely in my top 3 for NFL candidates, but right now he is number 3, right? I think that I didn't honestly. I know it's gonna sound really weird, but I love the way Josh Allen plays football. Like for me, I think it's just kind of like, man, this kid is really good, and he's taken a sorry Bills team who was just in dire straits for how many years in a row, and it's taken a while to put it all together. But right now, he's even above Aaron Rodgers on the list on top QBs, pass yards. I mean, not necessarily interceptions. He has 26 and 8, but I mean, I don't know. I just like the way he plays football, and I think that what he's done with that team is pretty crazy. I don't know. But Pat Mahomes is number 1. I think Aaron Rodgers is number 2, and Josh Allen's number 3 for me.
I got to go with my my last pick. I know I hate it, but you have no other reason why not to pick him, just because of his record and what Chase Claypool is giving him. You got to put Big Ben in the conversation.
Do you?
I know.
Do you have to?
I do. I would rather say Kyler Murray, but they want to go 6-6.
Yeah. I mean, I think that has merit. Ben, has led his team to how many wins and 1 loss. So, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, pretty good. I think that you can definitely put Big Ben up there. His Shirt of Bloom says no for Big Ben. I'm scared for the Steelers this weekend against the Bills and Josh Allen. I mean, I think they have a reason to fear. I just lost against the Washington football team, and Big Ben has always made questionable decisions. I think he trusts his arm a lot more, than he should sometimes.
Mhm.
But you could put him in the MVP race, definitely. But yeah, I think that's our top three when it comes to that, man.
I mean, again,
Yeah,
I really wish Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray hadn't dropped games because
yep.
they would be, man, if they just if Russell Wilson would have kept out of like 2 less games, and because I think what are they 8-4 right now? They're 8-4, I believe. If they would have been 10-2, I'd still say Russell Wilson, but he's had a few. He's kind of leveled off. He's had a few bad games. Not to say he can't push himself back up there. I think that number 3 spot is very questionable, and on who can go back up there and get in. And Josh Allen isn't a bad pick. I just think people like the veteran QBs a little bit more because it's like they're a last hurrah, and that's why I got to go with Big Ben.
I mean, Russell Wilson is he's having a weird year, man. 32-11. He doesn't usually throw that many. He's usually very, very safe with the ball. So, I mean, for him to have 11
DK
interceptions
is to blame.
Yeah, DK is a monster.
And I think that's what gives him his ability to throw it up there because he believes in DK, and DK is going to come down with it. And unfortunately, you just don't come down with it all the time, and you could get picked.
Yeah. Josh Allen over Big Ben. Yeah,
people do not like my Big Ben pick, man.
Yeah, Sure Doubloon says CBS has Wilson at 3. I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, you can argue that too. It's just for me.
Don't get me started on CBS. I'm a little angry at them right now.
Yeah, I mean, for us, I think that my top 3 are definitely, yeah. Well, for me, I love watching Josh Allen play football. I think that he's evolving. I think Josh Allen is the next Big Ben. I think that he's gonna fill those shoes here pretty soon. I mean, they sort of play a lot like each other, just extremely great talents in general, like fucking physically wise. Excuse my language. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, I think I got Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and then Josh Allen. I know I just switched from Aaron Rodgers to Josh Allen, but I was like, that's how gut wrenching.
Oh, so you're putting Aaron Rodgers at number 3 and Josh Allen at number 2?
Yeah. Oh, Nabori says the Giants ruined it for Russell. I'm like, yeah, they kind of did. But the Giants defense is playing extremely good. They're playing very, very well this year. A lot of those things. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, good old Colt McCoy, baby.
Hell yeah. So Big Ben hasn't thrown those deep balls that this season. He relies on Claypool to break tackles. Yeah, but you drafted Claypool for a reason, man. He played pretty much tight end in college, so clearly that's what the Steelers wanted for him, and that's how they're using him. And why not, dude? He's a 6 foot, I think 6'4", 230 something pound wide receiver that runs a 4.4. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to work with.
So, do you have any dark horse candidates? Do you think anybody can? Is it Aaron Rodgers or Josh Allen that can dethrone Patrick Mahomes, or do you think anybody in these last 4 games are just gonna come up?
So for me, I don't see it just because like how efficient Pat Mahomes has been through I think 13 games right now. Yeah, we're at 13 games. We have 3 left. So 31 TDs, 2 interceptions, man. Where's the pass yards? 3,815 yards. Because he's not he's being this efficient while pushing the ball down the field. That's the insane part. He's number 3 in total yards per attempt. So he's literally doing this while pushing the ball downfield. He's not Derek Carring it where he's all right. Well, okay. Here's an underneath. Here's an underneath. Here's a mid. Here's a an eight curl.
Oh,
He
there's a
pushes
bad
it down
defense.
the field. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna bomb it to Tyreek Hill," or "Hey, there's McColl down on a deep cross, boom." So right now, Pat Mahomes, I don't think he has any competition when it comes to um, MVP. Which earlier in the year, we weren't saying that. We clearly loved Kyler Murray whenever they were on that streak. We loved Russell when he was on that streak. But right now, it's not how you start; it's how you finish, man.
That would be my dark horse. Is Kyler Murray? If he wins out and he blows it up and he just does it, I could just see him. And because, Heisman can sometimes, not just stats wise, it could be a popularity contest too.
Yeah.
Like who's the most likable, most exciting player? That's why Lamar Jackson got it over Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was the better quarterback. Just Lamar Jackson with his runs, with his jukes, with Madden skills, he was the more exciting player. So
yeah. I think that with what Lamar did last year with breaking that rushing record that Michael Vick held, and then he threw for a lot of touchdowns too, and he was pretty efficient. And him posterizing my Bengals for those 2 games. Thank you, Lamar, for that. By the way, I have to watch that every time we play each other. But he had an incredible season. But Pat Mahomes was good too. Sure, Doubloon says that it's going to be Pat Mahomes every year for the next decade. I hope not, but it's very possible. Very, it's not exactly a hot take,
I really wouldn't hate that. I mean, he's likable. He's all over. He's the new face of the NFL. You could basically, if he does that for the next if he does that for the next decade, he's the next Peyton Manning. He's the next Tom Brady. That's what you want to see. You want a guy like that. You want an unbeatable guy, a guy winning MVP all the time, a guy winning multiple championships. It makes football so much more fun. Who can beat Kansas City and Mahomes?
But I think that we kind of get into the Alabama effect where you just kind of like, man, I'm tired of seeing Pat Mahomes up there all the time. He's a very lovable guy. Clearly we love him here. We're all about Pat Mahomes. But I think that it was actually really good for Lamar to win that MVP last year. Just to break, not necessarily break up the monotony, but if you had Pat Mahomes winning the MVP for 3 straight seasons, you're just kind of like, okay, here we go again. Win every year. Yeah, sure to win. So Francis says, what about Aaron Rodgers? We talked about him earlier. He's our number 2, right? Was our number 2 pick for MVP right now? Jordan? Hello? Jordan? Do we cut out?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, yeah, he's our number 2. Yeah, he's number 2. Peyton Manning, all-time great. And Sure Doubloon, as a soccer fan, I hate to see the same team and players win every year. Yeah. I get it. I mean, I hate seeing the exact same thing. But it is what it is. If that player is that good, then and if he deserves it, then he deserves it. And it's not on. It's not on his. Wait, hold on a second, fast. It's not on that player's duty to get worse. It's on the rest of the teams to get better. Because you want that. I think that's good that player is that good because it makes the entire sphere of football evolve. Or whatever it is.
And then Sure Doubloon, look at it like this. The way I look at it is now Patrick Mahomes won 5 Super Bowls. And this is, of course, if he does. Now he's chasing number 6. Now he's chasing the greatest quarterback ever. Yeah, you hate it, but when a player gets there, which one player has done in the entire history of football, one team, 6 Super Bowls, 9 times to the Super Bowl. Now you got one guy chasing them. Can he beat him? Can he tie him? Can he pass him?
Exactly.
Then
So
it's a whole nother excitement.
so the thing is, I think it's I think this is the exact opposite. That I think that Tom Brady's LeBron, right? I think no, not necessarily. I think Tom Brady is Michael Jordan. He's that guy, and Pat Mahomes is the LeBron coming up. He's that guy who's just physically gifted at everything. He was built to play football. Everything he does is to play football. Whereas, you know, yeah, Michael Jordan was super talented, but it was his work ethic that got him those rings, and players around him helping him out. Whereas Pat Mahomes can probably just go out there with any fast guy in the league and just go out there and wing the ball, So I think that's what we're getting now in the NFL is you're getting that GOAT chase. Who's going to be the greatest of all time when it's all said and done? And I think that's good for the sport. I think that's it's definitely an attention getter, a headline getter.
Yep.
But yeah, man, is there anything else you wanted to cover when it comes to football? And I know tomorrow we're doing our draft pick. So if you guys want to come back and watch that, that's going to be fun. We're going to do our top 10 draft prospects, and then just going to how we're going to cover the draft coming up, because we are big draft nuts here at the Roar. Jordan, is there anything else you wanted to cover, bro?
Nope. Other than you'll find out why I don't like CBS right now. And it's because of their draft board.
So tomorrow around the same time, right, dude? You want to do it at 7 for you?
7. It's good for me, man. I've got no issues. I'm not doing anything.
Eastern Standard Time. Let's go with I think 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Yeah. So 8 p.m. Standard Time. No, Eastern Time. Sorry.
Eastern. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Eastern Standard Time. So that's the West Coast or East Coast. Oh my, what is going on with my brain right now? No. So we'll start at 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. We'll do our draft picks, and I hope you guys all come back and we'll talk about it, and we'll go up. We'll get into it, dude. Bro, I appreciate you coming on. Everyone, I appreciate the comments, all that stuff. We're gonna try and do a weekly show and then push out more targeted content on for football and all that stuff coming up. So I appreciate you coming watching. And Jordan, if you want to say something, go ahead.
Like, subscribe, push us out to your friends. We love having comments. We love to reply to y'all, and
it makes it more fun. Definitely makes it more fun. Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate you coming by. Welcome to the Roar. All that stuff. Like, subscribe, like he just said, all that stuff. We love talking football. We love talking sports, and we just love talking in general. We appreciate the conversation, and without further ado, welcome to the Roar. Peace.